Good morning, my loves. Happy Friday. Beautiful, beautiful day here at the lake. The sun's starting to come up. It is really, really bright out there, but it's pretty. High today's 105. It's fine. It's a winter, Anything's better than 120. So today is Friday. We're talking self-care, self-appreciation. Been a long week for a lot of people, especially the kids going back to school. They're still struggling. God bless them. They're used to sleep until noon, going to bed at midnight, sleep until noon, and now they have to get up at 6, be at school by, for some people, 7:30. I know. And they're not handling it well. Imagine that. The weekends are going to be tough. The first few weekends, this weekend, if you have kids, especially teenagers, the weekend's going to be tough. They're going to be really, really tired. They're really going to want to sleep. Let them sleep. Please, if you can, let them sleep. However, they're also going to want to spend time with their friends and their new friends. Totally understandable. I have an itch. Hang on. Totally understandable. But do you know the kids? Do you know their families? Do you know their parents? Never let your child hang out with somebody that you don't know, because you don't know what you're putting them into. Check it out. I had a conversation with some parents the other day, and I know damn good and well I'm going to get a lot of flack on this. Don't care. I'm a mom. I'm a grandma. This is how I feel. A lot of, especially teens, but a lot of kids are very big on privacy. I get that, and that's fine. You don't have to necessarily read their journal. That's fine. But if you have concerns about your child's safety and welfare, you think they're doing drugs, you think they're anorexic, you think they're doing self-harm, something's up, you can't put your finger on it, they're isolating, maybe they're drinking, you're afraid of this. I don't see anything wrong with doing a little research, You pay for that cell phone. And in my opinion, now this is just my opinion, every parent, I don't care if your kid is still in high school, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, whenever bedtime is, you take their phone into your room. So they don't get up and suddenly start texting, or they're not answering the little dings and checking email. Take the phone into your room. If you have concerns about your child's safety, I don't have a problem with somebody going through the texts, going through the hidden folders, checking out the photos. For what the hell's going on. That is a me thing. Yes, I know everybody's entitled to their privacy. Don't read their diary and their journal unless, they've run away from home, unless you have big, scary concerns, because those are their personal thoughts. But as far as a cell phone, I'm sorry. If you pay for that cell phone, you have every right to check that cell phone, and make sure your child knows that. Check the deleted messages, the messages they don't want you to see. Find out what the hell's going on with your child. A lot of parents, most are pretty savvy, but some are just gullible and naive, and they think the best of their child. My child would never do that. They wouldn't drink, they wouldn't smoke, they know drugs are wrong. Honey, you get a kid in a group of kids, and somebody whips out a cigarette, somebody whips out a vape pen, couldn't think of what it was called, a beer, a joint, there's peer pressure, automatically peer pressure. Are you going to partake or not? I'm sorry, I'm just a mess today. My allergies are acting up, I guess. But what's your child going to do? You can say, they would never partake. They just wouldn't do that. They know it's wrong. We don't do that in our house. They're an athlete, and they know that's not allowed. Sure. You bet. Your kid's in a group of kids, and they're at a party, they're at the beach, they're at the park, they're at somebody's house, mom and dad aren't home. Kids are going to couple up. Maybe not all of them, but a few of them will. And will your child go along? A lot of parents would say, no, they're not into that. They're not into boys. He doesn't even like girls yet. You want to make a bet? This is why you check the phone. This is why you check their social media. Find out what's really going on. Because your child, especially your teen, will look you square in the eye and lie their ass off. Very convincingly. Absolutely, positively. I promise you they will. Not every child on the planet. I would say 95%. Absolutely, positively. And then down the road, something happens. The police are called to the park, the party, the beach. Somebody ends up, a photo, video goes viral online and a parent sends it to you. Did you know your child's doing this? I can't believe this. Believe it. He would never. She would never. Honey, they're never in like they've never did before. They're doing it. Just don't be naive. And if you have concerns, do a deep dive. And like I said, people aren't going to like this because it's an invasion of privacy. It's an invasion of your child's privacy. It's your child. You pay for that phone. You pay for that laptop. You pay for that iPad. You pay for those minutes. I think you have every right to check it out. That's just me. For my son, back then, didn't have cell phones. I think he got a cell phone his junior year of high school. And it was pretty primitive. But I knew all of his friends. I knew their families. I knew what was going on. I didn't like all of it. And some of it he did lie to me about, and I found out 20 years later. He's 47 now. I can't exactly ground him. But I thought I was pretty savvy, and I was. But they're always going to slip a few things, under the radar. If you love your child, and I know you do, protect your child. Know who they're hanging out with this weekend. If they're going to the game, hey, why don't we go as a family? Yeah, they'll hate that. Or maybe now in the small town I grew up in, everybody, families included, everybody went to the games on Friday night. It was just what you did. But you saw what everybody's kids were doing. You would see who coupled up and ran off under the bleachers kind of thing. Know what's going on. Don't just take their word for it. I'm not saying your child is a bad child. I'm not saying, they're a demon spawn. I'm just saying they're a teenager. And this applies for kids from 10 years old. Yes, 10 years old forward. Absolutely, positively. I have had clients that were 10 years old that were sexually active. They had been molested. They thought it was the norm. For them, they thought it was okay. It's not. Talk to your kids. And don't just say, we don't do sex. We don't let boys touch us. We don't do that to girls. No. I want you to sit down and have a deep dive discussion with them. Deep. I want you to go online with them sitting next to you and show them photos. You want abstinence? Show them photos of venereal warts, gonorrhea, syphilis, yeast infections. It will gross them out, but it's reality. Sexually transmitted infections and diseases are a reality. Talk to them about pregnancy. Well, they use condoms, honey. They half the time, they don't know when to put the condom on. And then they put it on and it breaks. They get the wrong size. They're idiots. Talk to your child. If they say, I'm too embarrassed, I don't want to do this, I don't care. So you're going to hear. You're just going to sit and listen. That's fine. Protect your child. If you have concerns, and I do know some families, as soon as their child is 14, 16, they immediately put them on the pill for a lot of different reasons. Sometimes it's a hormonal imbalance. Or they used to use that if your child had really bad acne. Whatever. That is not a free ride to have sex. Talk to your kids. Please talk to your kids. I just want your kids safe and protected and informed. And the information they're going to get from the friends and they're going to get from the streets is and TikTok. I can't forget the info they get from social media, TikTok and Snapchat. Seriously? You want to risk your child's life on social media? Influencers will tell you whatever they think you want to hear to sell their product and to get the likes and the stars or whatever the hell it is. Kids don't realize that. Sit down with them. Have a talk with them. Seriously. And if you have concerns, go through their phones. When you're putting away the laundry, check out the drawers. See if there's anything hidden. if you have concerns. In my opinion, there's a difference between invading their privacy and trying to save their life, keeping them safe. One old lady's opinion. It's just my thoughts. You have your own. Have a good weekend.